Well, hello everybody. Hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of To a Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. Well, ladies, tonight is highlighting women in business, and tonight I have the pleasure of having Miss Coco Davis join us tonight from Talk to Me Foundation. And Coco, when I made the flyer, I put on there her mission, her message, and her purpose. And once Coco starts to talk, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take this time and let Coco introduce herself. So Coco, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Coco Davis. I am the founder of the Talk to Me Foundation for kids whose parents are incarcerated. I am the sole owner of Exquisite Premier. It's a small banquet hall on the west side of Chicago, as well as the founder of the Sister of Support House. It's a safe house for women who's coming out of prison, women who have survived domestic violence, homeless veteran women. This is a safe house. It's a wraparound entry house for women that need service.
Okay, so tell them a little about your background, your story, how you end up getting into the Talk to Me Foundation. What was your motivation to start it?
Um, well, it all was a thought in the beginning. Um, I served 13 and a half years in a federal prison myself, and I left two beautiful daughters in caretaker of my sister and my mom. And while I was serving my time, I noticed that when we have visits, it'd be just the mother and the grandmothers and aunts and nieces in the visiting room with all the mothers. There was no fathers coming to visit these mothers that's locked up. And majority of the time, women are in prison because of a man. It could be that a man snitched on them, or the man could be their co-defender. It's one or the other. And I thought about those kids as they would walk out of the visiting room, how they were screaming for their mother, and that just really bothered me. So my mission was to come home and start an organization just dealing with the kids, because most of the time kids are left they left behind. They're not talked about. They don't talk about the kids because they're too busy talking about the parents that's incarcerated. And people don't understand that prison have impact on our kids. When you take a mother or father out of a house and lock them up, you locking the whole entire family up. And no one ever talk about that. Now
Mm-hmm.
that we are given a voice to talk, we're speaking as a whole with different other organizations about the impact and the trauma that kids are experiencing. I know firsthand that my kids was dealing with a lot of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
as well as my kids was being very rebellious because I
Mm-hmm.
was gone. And not only was I taken out of the house, the father was too. So you got both parents gone and sent to prison to serve 2 decades of their life inside of a prison wall. So that is the reason why I decided to Talk to Me Foundation for kids who have parents incarcerated, because I wanted to give kids that voice. I wanted the kids to come to me and talk to me. And I wanted my kids to be the face of the Talk to Me Foundation, because my kids look like those kids. And kids are oftentimes scared to talk about a mother or a father being incarcerated because they're afraid of what people gonna think about them, how they're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
ridiculed as they in school, as they just living out their life. They be talked about because
Mm-hmm.
kids are mean and people hurt people.
Exactly. So, what would you say to a mother who have experienced what you have experienced, but don't know the steps to take to reground herself, or get herself back into her children's life?
What I would say to a young woman who's coming home from prison and she's trying to rekindle her love for her kids, I would tell her it's a work in progress, and you got to be
Mm-hmm.
strong, as you try to interact with those kids. Because if you've been gone out of their life for a significant time and you have not had any contact with them, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to take time, because we just can't come from prison and jump back into our kids' life and think that everything's supposed to work out. No, we
Right.
have been gone for quite some time, and we got to get to know our kids. It's like a slow process, but it's a work in progress, and we can do it. So I tell any mother to get with someone that have already made that success with their kids and talk with them. Talk with them so they can tell you the steps on what to do. Because we try to be superwoman. We try to
Mhm.
take on so many different things, but we can't. And then the kids be looking at you like, you've been out of my life for 5, 6 years. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Right.
My granny been taking care of me. Because
Mhm.
kids are hurting. And a lot of
Right.
mothers don't even come home and talk to the kids to find out what it is that we got to do so we can start over again. And first thing first, you need to get some counseling. You need to get some
Mhm.
counseling. You need to seek some help. A lot of people think that if they go get counseling, you're crazy. Oh, no, you're not
Mhm.
crazy. You're smart and you're going
Mhm.
about it the right way. So I would tell any mother that's been out of their kid's life more than a day, 2 days,
Right.
you need to get some counseling because we can't fix everything. When we
Right.
come home, the first thing family members do is throw them kids right back in our lap. But when a man come home, they get the opportunity to move on with their lives. But we don't.
Mhm.
We don't.
So, how would you, for women who struggle when they're coming out, because depending on the length of time that they've been incarcerated, they really don't know the first steps or the first thing they should do once they come home. So, how do you deal with that?
Well, from experience, you have to you have to get the resource that you need for yourself. And when a
Mhm.
woman coming out, and I'm not able to reach all those sisters that's coming home from prison, but if a sister reach out to me by word of
Mhm.
mouth, or
Mhm.
someone that know who I am and know that their family member is in prison, they
Mhm.
contact me, and I walk that walk with them, step by step,
Mhm.
because they don't have the resources that we don't have the resources that the men have. It
Right.
took a lot for me to find out information
Mhm.
for a woman, because how you going to tell a woman what she needs as far as resources when you got everything that's for a man? So
Right.
that was one of my reasons for opening up this safe house. This a
Mhm.
transition house where women can come get out of prison and transition back into society.
Mhm.
So we there as formerly incarcerated women, that woman looked just like me. I know the steps to
Mhm.
help her. So we can bridge
Mhm.
all of that gap that she's missing, and I work with her step by step.
Mhm. When women come out, there is a thing that I talked to a young lady um, not too long ago. She had been in for a while too, and I think she had like 4 kids, and she was grateful that her kids continued to love her. That was a big thing for her. But then she felt like, you know, that she needed to make up for the time that she missed with her kids. So, can you really make up that time?
You could never make up that time. You could never get back what they took from you. Only thing that
Hmm.
you can do as a mother is to move forward and give them all the love that they deserve as a mother.
Hmm.
I would never try to make up anything that was done in the past. I can't do it. I
Right.
can't do it. You will have a nervous breakdown trying to. And that
Hmm.
is not what those kids is looking for. All the kids is looking for is love.
Right.
They want their mother to listen to them. And
Hmm.
as mothers, we don't listen. It seems like that's the
Right.
hardest thing to do, is to listen to our kids and their needs. I
Hmm.
found that out because I got two beautiful girls. When I left them, they was 10 and 8. And when I came home, they was 24 and 22,
Wow.
driving. I had a grandbaby, too. And all I could do is just look and cry. Like, where did I go wrong?
Hmm.
I'm faulting myself for every little thing.
Hmm.
And it just hit me. You ain't did nothing wrong. You was the best mother that you can be. You made a
Hmm.
bad choice.
Hmm.
You cannot correct the bad that you have already created. What you can do
Right.
is move forward in the good that you're going to do with these kids. And me and my
Hmm.
girls now, we are like, Oh, we like Bonnie and Clyde. You know, I mean, we I
Mhm.
can talk with them. They 30 and 28 now. I can talk with them. I can travel with them. We have our girl talk. You know, we talk about everything. I don't hide
Mhm.
anything from them because that's where we go wrong at when we get locked up. We lie.
Mhm.
I'm coming home. I'm off in school. I'm not going to tell that lie
Mhm.
because I'm not coming home. Not until God set me free.
Right.
I made a bad choice. I did something that I shouldn't have done. And my daughter hurted me so bad. And she said, well, you made that choice and we didn't ask for it.
Mhm.
We didn't ask for any of the things that you was giving us. All we wanted was our money.
Mhm.
And it
So
seemed like
guilt,
my heart just caved in, you know?
yeah, but guilt plays a big role um, when mothers are taken from the home. Whether you place yourself in a position or whether somebody else placed you in that position, the guilt that some women deal with is very heavy. So, how would you suggest somebody deal with that guilt?
There, here you go again. You got to seek some counseling. They
Hmm.
got to get some counseling. They got to get some help. I tell you, I do restorative justice, and we do those peace circles where sisters
Hmm.
can come out and talk about things that's going on with inside of them because they're afraid to talk about it with family members. Once again, scared of how they're going to look at them, how they're going to judge them. So we just bring it to the table. We don't push or force anyone to talk about anything that they're dealing with. It's up to you. If you want it,
Hmm.
you're going to get it. If you don't want it, you won't get it. Because in the beginning, I didn't want it because I thought I had the answers to everything.
Hmm.
And I didn't. I needed some help. I needed some help. And I needed those sisters who I had been reaching out to take my hand and say, come on, we got you. We know what it feels like. We know what you've been through. We know what you're dealing with, sister. You know, come join us. And I did. And just listening to their stories. And I'm like, my story ain't nearby like theirs. You know, those sisters
Hmm.
have been through some stuff. I haven't been through
Hmm.
what they've been through, but I was
Hmm.
able to share my story and release all of that baggage and
Hmm.
say, oh, I'm a new me. You know, I'm a
Hmm.
new Coco.
Right. Right.
And so, and that's what I would tell some of the sisters that's coming home behind me. You know, if you're dealing with something really heavy and the burden is too heavy for you to carry, get some help.
Hmm.
Because you can't carry it by yourself.
Right. Right. But you know what? Um, Even if you've been incarcerated or not,
Mhm.
there are women who hold on to things. And you know, Erica Badu got this song out called Bag Lady.
Bag lady.
And
Yeah.
I think we as women, we open our bags and allow people to constantly dump. And we don't have the strength or the willpower to tell them, no, you can't dump that on me. Because when we really look in the mirror at each one of ourselves, we've all done something. You know what I'm saying? We
Hmm.
just didn't get caught.
Just to get,
That's the
yes.
difference.
Yes.
We just didn't get caught, but we have done something that should have landed us in a position that you sat in for decades. But the only difference between us is that we did get caught.
You didn't
So
get
that
caught.
leave for me, it leaves no room to judge. It leaves no room to point fingers, and it leaves no room for assumptions.
Yeah. There's no perfect person. You know, you show
None.
me one. Show me one perfect person besides the creator, Jesus. Everybody that did something in their life, like you said, they just didn't get caught. And I was the one that
Hmm.
did something and I got caught. I got told off. I got set up and I was removed from my house and sentenced to 22 years, you know? And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't even know what to expect. When I
Hmm.
was shipped from Chicago to Danbury, Connecticut, I felt like I was in a foreign world. You know, it was so many women there that I had never
Hmm.
seen in my life. I'm like, wow, you know, and I was scared. I felt lonely. I was hurt. And all of those restless nights where I couldn't be there with my babies to let them
Hmm.
know they're going to be okay, that takes a toll on you, you know?
Right.
That takes a
Right.
toll on you. You have to find some strength. You know, you really now got to surrender to God because He is
Hmm.
the only one that's going to bring you up and out. And I had to
Hmm.
do that because I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown because it seemed like all the doors was closing on me, and it seemed like
Hmm.
the time was going so slow. I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, 2021 is not going to ever get here, because that's the time that I supposed to been released. But God said, oh, no, I'm going to bring you home a little earlier, because I think that,
Yeah.
now you don't learn. You don't learn your lesson
Mhm.
because in the
Mhm.
beginning, you just was a disobedient child, so he was chastising me left and right, and I was just trying to
Mhm.
figure out why. Why me? Why not you? Why not you?
Right.
And in my mind is like, I'm thinking like, oh, you got this tough skin. You wants to be tough. You think that you can handle
Mhm.
everything. Uh-uh.
Mhm.
Oh no. All of that went out the window. It went out the window. Nope. I ain't tough. I am begging for your mercy. Please forgive me. Give me a second chances. And it was just a second chance, a chance after another chance, another chance, until finally he set me free. He set
Mm.
me. And that is a feeling that is unexplainable when you're walking out of
Mhm.
those federal prison doors, because it's sisters in there now that I was doing my time with is serving life sentence. That is
Mm.
not probably not going to ever see the world. I'm fighting right now for a lady who's serving 2 life sentences plus 50 years. First time offense. You know, she had never even had a speeding ticket. My God. Now I'd have had plenty of them. I'd have had plenty of them. But this woman got 2 life sentences plus 50 years, and she's been locked up 29 years. Have one daughter, and she don't know when she'll ever get the opportunity to sit at a restaurant and have a Starbucks cup of coffee with her
Mm.
daughter. That is so painful. And I feel
Yeah.
those sisters' pain because I was there with them. And that is one of the reasons why I just can't turn my back. I can't turn my
Mhm.
back on them. Even when I wanted to, I couldn't. I
Mhm.
couldn't. God brought me right back to the front and said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be the voice of the voiceless. You're going to speak for those women because they need you.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
said,
I
okay.
think. Yeah. I think it's a good thing. Well, like I said, your mission, your message, and your purpose.
Yeah.
That's something that God gave me. So I my heart goes out to those who are incarcerated for whatever the reason may be. And I hope that while we are talking, that we as women sit back and take a long look at ourselves, because sometimes we think we're above some things and we're not. It could
Preach.
take being in the wrong car, it can take walking in the
Woo.
wrong store, it could take talking to the wrong person on the phone, and a simple conversation can land you somewhere that you don't want to be. So we think as women that we are excluded for something happened to us, and we are
Mm-hmm.
not. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of women that have been locked up was not knowledgeable, they were not aware, they just happened to be with somebody they cared about at the wrong time. And because most, let's be honest, because of the skin color for most of us, per statistics says 90% is black and brown, we get the heavy charge.
We do.
And
We do.
whether we have a record or not, they don't care. They don't care.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
all about the dollar on the head. It's not about whether you was innocent or guilty from the stories. And I've heard a lot of stories from different women who said that, it wasn't their lifestyle. They just happened to date somebody and it was their lifestyle. But because they was with that person and maybe they dropped off an envelope here, dropped off an envelope there, they thought maybe they was, moving stuff for them, and they
But you,
wasn't.
you know what? Here's the crazy thing. You don't have to drop off an envelope to be charged
Mhm.
or to be in a conspiracy ring. Let me tell you something.
Mhm.
And I try to tell the young girls, be careful who you get in the car with. Be careful who you talk to on the phone. Because guess what? If that person is under indictment by the
Mhm.
federal government
Mhm.
and that person is buying you all of these gifts and you didn't question where these gifts coming from, you have conspired with that person.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No,
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You didn't conspire because guess what? As they say, you see something, you say something, right?
Mhm.
If this person is not working a 9 to 5 job, making 6 figures, how you going to buy me a nice handbag? How you going to buy me these nice shoes? You don't even have a job. I haven't seen you not
Mhm.
one time wake up and leave out here and go to work. And you driving
Mhm.
these fancy cars. So I'm accepting those gifts. So I know something
Mm.
inside my mind was going on. Now the government
Mhm.
got this individual under investigation, but his
Mm.
girlfriend is not doing what he's doing. But she go with him. She's dating him, and she accepting all of these gifts. They traveling the world together. Now you just been involved in a conspiracy because you know that he don't have a
Wow.
job, and you never once open your mouth to say something. So you have to
Mm.
be careful. And believe me, they've been investigating that for quite some time. So they see all of your moves and your action. They see it. And you can't lie and say,
Mhm.
oh, no, I didn't know. Oh, you knew something. In the back of your mind, you knew something was going on. So many young girls was in there for that. So many young girls was in there because they was driving in the car, cross state line, going to Virginia from Detroit, and they picking up drugs that she didn't know. You in the car with them. They not going to
Mhm.
tell you. They're not going to tell you because they need somebody to ride with them. It is so many
Right.
college students was in prison, young girls that had got wooed in by a smooth talking brother. They college student, they working a day job, banks, they working at restaurants, and here come this small, smooth talking brother in there, and just to woo these young girls into doing something that they don't have no business doing. And I try to preach that all the time to the young girls. It is so easy to get in trouble, and it's so hard to get out. And you have to really
Yeah.
sit back and ask yourself, damn, was that worth it? My life
Right.
is messed up. It's not worth it,
Mhm.
But I
It's
had to
not,
learn
but yeah. But you know what? Some of these girls think fast money is good money.
always.
And I think that a lot of it stems from home environment, but then all the time you can't say it stems from home environment because some parents train their daughters. You know what I'm saying? They train them in the
Mhm.
right way. But when they get older, so they think they're old enough and they think they're smart and so they think they're knowledgeable of some things, even
Mhm.
though the mother try to tell them about some things like she old, she don't know this, my grandmama don't know that. But they do,
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
tell the snake in the grass, and they always say, they can tell. But sometimes we as women, we choose not to listen because he have done so much for us. And then, like I said, once that man get in your head, he got you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm dealing with so many different things right now, and it's like I'm just full. And I'm not overwhelmed, I'm just full because it's knowledge. I was talking with a survivor. She's human trafficking, and I was
Hmm.
so bothered by it, how it went down, because it was right there in her household, and the mothers and the fathers never knew. They never
Mm.
knew. I mean, this child had been accused of so many things by the mom, because the mom, is fussing and screaming at this child, to where the person that's up in the house with the father is telling the child that, oh, don't worry about that, what your mama's saying, you can run around in my house. Now this child thinking that that's her safety place with the guy.
Mm.
So she thinking that,
Hmm.
oh, I could go over here and I can run, jump in the bed, open the refrigerator, play my music, but at my mama house I can't, because he is just
Hmm.
pulling her in by allowing her to
Hmm.
do all the things that the mother is not allowing her to do. So she thinks she's
Hmm.
safe. And now he's
Mm.
trafficking her. And the first thing he tell her, if you say anything, what he's going to do to the mother. So now we got to teach
Hmm.
our kids to speak, to be more vocal. Don't
Hmm.
matter who it is. We need to tell them,
Hmm.
but kids are so afraid to tell because they love their mother and their father so much, and they're not going to say anything. So they're going to
Hmm.
continue to trafficking, selling their bodies. Young girls recruiting other young girls. And it's
Mm.
just crazy, and it's so big, and it's not being talked about. It's not
It's
being
not,
talked about.
not at all. But see, we've gotten so comfortable. And then I have a friend who was violated by her stepfather. And I asked her the question, how did it happen? And so she was telling me, he started, doing little things and telling her. And then so how they found out was she friend said she wanted to go to after school stuff. And she said she couldn't go. She had to go home and take care of stepfather. And so the friend told her, tell my mama what you said. And so she told her mother. So the mother reported to the school. Well, here is the disconnect, and here's where some of the problems is at. Because some of these women love these men so much, they don't want to believe what their daughters is saying. And so when the worker at the school called the mom in to tell her what had happened to the child, the mom told the social worker and the child, she lying.
Mm.
She not telling the truth. So now the person who is supposed to be my protector is not my protector. The person that I'm looking to cover me is not covering me. And so some of these kids end up in a situation which I tell mothers, I don't care who you are, listen to your child. You know your child. That's something you care for 9 months long. You should know their breathing. You should. My mama said, I know when you're breathing right, when you're breathing wrong. I know when you're lying and when you're telling the truth. And some of these mothers know, but they choose to ignore.
Yeah, they do.
And so the kids get scared when something happens, they don't tell.
They
They
don't
don't
tell.
tell.
They don't. They don't.
And that's sad because they end up being traumatized from that.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Mm-hmm.
fall in the wrong people's hands because now they don't know who to trust, what love is, and what is not.
Right.
Because
Right.
the person that's supposed to have taught me what I should have known told me I was a
Neglected me.
liar.
Mm-hmm. Neglected me. Yeah. Yes. And once again, that's what we always say: the trauma started in the house. It starts at
Mm-hmm.
home. And when these kids start roaming off into the streets, they start doing things they have no business doing, and they don't talk about it. And that is why we're losing so many of our kids. And that is a reason. And
Mm-hmm.
then it started in the trauma of our house and led me to going to prison because we don't talk about it. We think that we
Mm-hmm.
know it all and we don't know it all. So,
Right.
we could go on and on with a conversation talking about it. Now we're dealing with other black and brown girls aging out of foster care. When they age out, where do they go? They go to the streets. If they don't have a home,
Right.
where does those girls go to? No one talks about it.
Yeah.
They give them a bag of whatever they have, save while they was in there. And if no one adopted them, they give them a check and they send them on by their way.
Mm.
So they either go onto the streets or in the arms of a man or or a family what they call gangs. We don't know.
So let me ask you this question because we know there's a problem. We know it's a big problem. What do you think are some of the solutions that we can change the narrative way things are going now? And where do you think we should start?
Well, we got to reach the homes of some of these families, and we got to continue to educate, and we got to continue to voice our opinion about things. And sometimes we have to be at the table when things is going on, because
Mm-hmm.
it's happening to our people.
Mm-hmm.
So and we do have to change the narrative thing because we have not been vocal about things. Everybody just been quiet. It's time to
Mm-hmm.
use your voice. It's time to use your voice. It's time for you to start speaking. You need to be there at the table when they're talking about certain laws, when they're talking
Mm-hmm.
about things that's going on in the community. You need to be there and be able to speak and not just be sitting back and like, I'm not going to say anything because it's not happening
Mm-hmm.
to my family, but it's happening to somebody else's family. So
Yeah.
one way of us trying to do something about it is by trying to continue to educate and have these
Mm-hmm.
conversations.
Mm-hmm.
These conversations is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because right now social media is taking over everything. So if we have to go
Yeah.
to social media and have these conversations, then that's what we do. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we do. We have to
Exactly.
get into these schools. We got to get into these schools, and they need to bring social worker back into the school because these kids
Mm-hmm.
need it. They need to bring
Mm-hmm.
restorative justice back into the school because it's much needed. These kids are
Mm-hmm.
afraid to talk because, like I said, they're afraid of what you're going to think about them. So we got
Mm-hmm.
to get to the kids, and we got to also get to the parents. And sometimes it's good to have the parent in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
We got to break the generational cursing. We got to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I want to add to that. I want to let people know, stop judging, because what you see
Oh
in the
yeah,
front, you don't know the backstory. You don't know how that person
absolutely.
got to the
Mhm.
point. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I want to be mad. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I want to be angry. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I want to be rebellious. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I want to jump over here looking for love and jump over there looking for love. There has to be something that happened in that household to push them into the direction that they're going. But we look at these kids and we think they just become bad overnight. That's a
No,
process.
no, it's a process.
Everything happens. It's not a process.
That's a process. That is a
Yeah, it's a
process.
process. It is a
Yes.
process. And I say, and I give you an example. When the doctor say you pregnant, that's the time that you start parenting.
Yeah.
When the doctor say you're pregnant, you don't have to wait till the baby comes out. Parenting starts when the doctors say you are pregnant. That's when it starts. You don't wait till the baby is born. Let me
That's
clarify
right.
that up front.
Yeah.
You start
Yeah.
molding that child in your womb.
Yeah.
And then when that child comes out, don't start calling the child stupid, dumb, you like a no good daddy, you ain't gonna never be this, you ain't gonna never be that, you ain't gonna be good for nothing but laying on your back. This is
It's
how
so
you
sad.
mold
It's
your
so sad.
kids. It
Yep.
is.
Yep. So
It's
sad.
very sad. So we sit here and we judge and we point fingers, talking about these kids out here something else. No, they something else because y'all made them something else.
Because you made them
Some of you
something else.
parents.
Think about, yeah.
Exactly.
Think about it.
Yeah. You left them at
Think about-
home for somebody else to raise while you ran the street with that man because the man was more important than your child.
Oh, that
And
girl,
then
that
when
would be
they,
a whole fight. Whole fight to
I,
bring that conversation up. Be a
yeah,
whole fight.
so,
But I be ready
hello,
for it. I'm ready
yeah.
for it. You know that you
So
did it.
we quit to point fingers, and then what Coco is saying about stepping up to the plate and using your voice. This is why I have this platform to use your voice. See, we good at sitting behind the door complaining about what coulda, woulda, shoulda be done, but we ain't gonna step past the door to make sure those things are done and they are changed. We all, each one of us, have a responsibility. You know, the saying used to be that we used to have a lot of weight. It takes a village.
It takes a good. Oh,
It
yes.
takes a village. But we have gotten to the point that we are so freaking selfish. We don't think about nobody but them three individuals, me, myself, and I.
And
And them three individuals is ruining your life because that's all you think about. You can't progress to nothing. You can't get to nothing better because the only individual you think about is yourself until tragedy hits your front door. It's
that's
your
right.
daughter. It's your
Yeah.
son. And then you want to step out on the news or you want to reach out to the people who've been
Oh,
reaching out to you and say, can you help me?
yeah.
When you should have been stepping up to the plate from the get go. This is everybody's fight. It ain't a one woman fight. It ain't a two woman fight. It's every woman's fight, not just us two on this live stream. We all have a voice, and we should use our voice
And we should
to the
use it.
maximum.
Yes.
Now,
Absolutely. I agree with
I'm
you.
serious about
I
this.
agree.
This is
I
from the
agree
bottom
with
of my
you.
heart.
Yeah. I agree with you because I've been saying that since the day I came home from prison. You know, and when people look at me now, they are amazed, because I'm not the same Coco that I used to be. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not that same person no more. And they asked me how I do it. I said, God,
Right.
everything that I have asked for, God have given. God have
Hmm.
yet to let my hands go. Now there's been some bumpy roads. Hey, don't get me wrong. I done had my ups and downs, but let me tell you, He didn't set us down. He didn't set the entire world down to reevaluate their life to see how you can adjust what you done messed up. And guess
Hmm.
what? I'm here to tell you wholeheartedly, this COVID, it's a bad thing as well as a good thing because it
Hmm.
set me back down to say, "Ooh, look at the direction that I was going." But He stopped it.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
stopped it before I even got to it. It made me reevaluate my life and say, everything that I done for you and everything that you said that you was going to do. So now you're going to start turning the other cheek.
Hmm.
But when it's COVID, He stopped everything. Hey, stop. Now I got your attention again. And I
Hmm.
hold that because I know that I was starting to turn wrong by
Hmm.
allowing people back into my space that never should have been
Hmm.
there. By
Hmm.
allowing you to rent space in my head to tell me certain things that I knew weren't accurate, but I'm gonna go with it.
Mhm.
You know, so you gotta you gotta put on a full garment and an armor. You got
I'm
to.
telling you,
You
you
got to
got to.
protect it. Keep all of those evil spells and spirits out your way. Because when you
Mhm.
start doing the work, the enemy gonna come up against you. That's just how it
Mhm.
is. But you got to know
Mhm.
the difference between Satan and God.
Right.
You got to. And I don't want to
Right.
talk biblical. I don't want to talk about the Bible,
Well,
but
you ain't got to talk about biblical, because somebody say God has to
we
be
know
in
when
front
you're
of
doing
it
something
all.
wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know
We
when you're
do.
doing wrong. You ain't crazy.
Exactly.
You ain't crazy.
Exactly.
But it was a work in progress for me. When I came home, I was faced with a whole lot of challenges, and I did not even know it. And I was like, these is not my challenge, and these is not my burden. That's not mine, but I had to deal with it. I had to deal with it. And one of the things that I had never thought that I would do was drive Uber, because where I come from, can't nobody sit in the back of me.
Mhm.
You can't sit in the back of me. I don't know if you're finna blow my head off or rob me. I don't know. So
Right.
I had that mindset where, wow, I gotta drive Uber to make a living. I can't go back to
Mhm.
the streets. You know,
Mhm.
I don't want to be with the wrong crowd and get caught up, and then I get locked up,
Mhm.
and now
Mhm.
I'm again away from my kids and my grandbabies. How that's gonna look?
Mm. Right.
That ain't gonna look good on me. So I drove
Right.
Uber. I drove Uber every day. And I had gotten that mindset. I don't care what you think of me, because your thoughts don't even matter to me. I'm doing
Right.
what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Because you can laugh now because y'all gonna cry later. Because I'm gonna keep doing
Mhm.
me. And
Right.
you just have to get in that beast mode to where you have to stop allowing people to make you feel a certain way. And you gotta stop
Mhm.
thinking about what somebody gonna say about you. Because everything that you
Exactly.
do it for you. You do
Right.
it for you.
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
success story in everybody. you
It
know,
is.
and you just got to figure out what is your success, what you want to do with your life, and do it,
Mhm.
and not let nobody interfere in it. It's hard, girl. It's really, really hard. And you just got to be a strong individual. You have to be at the table and be around sisters like minded like you, or brothers that want to see
Exactly.
your growth. You got to.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I say look beyond what you did wrong and see what you can do right. See, we have to look for the best part of the person instead of looking at the bad part of a person.
Yes.
That's what we should be doing. If I can't help you, I'm not going to hurt you. But a lot of us think about prison, a physical body. We put our own self in prison for a lot of things that we should
Yep.
unlock the doors
Mhm.
and walk out of. So
Yeah.
don't
Mhm.
don't hold on, because we're human beings. We make mistakes. What I say, what hangs us up when we start being repeat offenders. When you
Yes.
start being a repeat
Yes.
offender and you don't learn that lesson, then that's a problem for you.
Yeah.
That's a problem for you. But don't think
Yeah.
that you're not going to make mistakes. Don't think you're not going to choose the wrong man to talk to. Don't think that you're not going to do the right thing when you're parenting your children, because you are. So that's not what we're saying. But know who
And
you are. Don't beat yourself up.
that's right. That's right. Know who you are and stop beating yourself up. And once you know
Exactly.
who you are, you will be a better person. And when you said about, repeat offender, recidivism is real. And
Hmm.
and I think that the number one reason why a lot of people return back to prison, because it's not enough resource out here. It's not. It's not
Nope.
enough resource out here. When a person come home from prison, a lot of people come home and can't even get an ID. And that's one of the things that you must have.
Exactly.
They don't even have an ID. They can't even get a birth certificate. Now, if they can't get those two things, how they gonna get a job?
Right.
If we can't give them the resource to get these things, they are most likely to go back to prison. And
Hmm.
prison set you up to fail. So that is
Exactly.
the reason why you have so many organizations now that's trying to end mass incarceration, that want to give these people that's coming home the resource that they need, or they are going to
Hmm.
end back up in jail.
Right. Well.
And that's why it's so important for me to make sure that these women be accoladed back into society. They have to.
Hmm.
And we gotta
Hmm.
help them. Stop
Yes.
judging.
Exactly.
Stop judging.
That's the biggest part. That's the
Stop judging
biggest
and
part.
help them. You're too busy
Exactly.
judging them. Why don't you help them?
Exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
I mean, we just got to continue to stay prayed up. We got to continue to use our voice, and our platforms,
Hmm.
to help people that look like us.
And I think this platform, what we talked about tonight, I believe it will create a little light for somebody. It may not register today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but long as it registers, that's all that matters. We have an issue. We know it's an issue. We know this. We are very much aware. But don't point the fingers at somebody else. Think about before you speak over somebody's life of what you think or the reasons why they did what they did, because you don't know the whole truth. Nothing but truth will help you, God. Only they know the story. You think you know, but you really don't know.
Hmm.
And my other thing for our elected officials, and it's something I'm probably going to be talking about a lot, we need to have step downs. You have intensive care, and you have intensive care step down. When somebody in intensive care, they have a step down before you release them into a regular room, right? And then you go out to society. So for anybody that's incarcerated, because depending on the time frame, they don't know the changes in life, the new technology, how things are done. They need a step down too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
They
you
haven't
need a
even
step down to ease them back into something. Don't drop them in there.
just so yeah,
Ease them
they throw
back.
you right up. When your time is up, your time is up. So whatever information and rehabilitation that you didn't get while in there, then it's too late. See you when I see you. However, like I said, there's more resource for the men than it is women. I went down to a reentry prison in Kiwani for men. Once you get 2 years and under, you can take this program down there, and you could take it's this class they got. It's a boot camp where if you're trying to open up a small business, if you got a plan, you could take this entrepreneur class there for 9 months, and they'll give you a $5,000 stipend. But why y'all don't have that for the women?
Wow.
Why y'all don't have that for the women? Because women is coming home now. They coming home, and they coming home to
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And those
Mm-hmm.
that have spent decades and decades of their life in prison, they don't they don't even know what a bus pass look like. They don't even know how a driving license look like. So you got to walk
Mm-hmm.
them through this here. They have nothing like that for women. They have nothing like that in the prison, the whole prison system. It's 155,564 people in federal prison. It's 2.4 million people incarcerated all over the country. That's a
Mm.
big number.
It is.
That's a big number. It's a
It
big
is. So
number.
let me ask you this question. Besides your organization, what other organizations out there that assist women who are coming home that
Ooh,
you
girl.
know of off the top of your head?
We got God giving us this dream. We have the National Council. We have Beauty After the Bars. We have the Institution of Nonviolence. We have Lady Hope of Ministry. We have oh, girl, it's so many of them now that we are collaborative partners with,
Okay.
that I
So
work with.
if somebody has a family member and they needed the resources but they don't know where to start, what should they do?
Well, if they don't know where to start, they in Cook County or Illinois. Um,
Hmm.
we have a lot of women from Illinois that goes inside the prison. So I know that they didn't drop some pamphlets or something. If you getting out of prison, you contact us. If you need a care bag or do you need a place to stay, because we do that. So if they want to contact us, all they got to do is just go to the resource center inside the county jail or the state prison or the federal prison, because the resource is there, because we make sure that we send newsletters throughout the prisons, especially the federal prison, because I deal with a lot of federal inmates.
Hmm.
I have a lot of sisters that deal with the state.
Hmm.
They are CGI, it's Criminal Justice Initiative. They do a lot of work with the state women, from Dwight to Logan. They going in there every Friday. So the resources is there. It's up to them to grab it and make use of them.
Okay, so if the family members need to find resources and the inmate said that, well, they don't have it out there, what should the family member do if they want the resource? How do they find where you're at?
Well, how do they find? It's most of the
The
time people
website,
find me the
your
website, and
contact
my
number
website.
or website. Somebody asked, what is your contact number or website?
My website is the talktomefoundation.org. It's spelled TALK, the number two.org.
I'm gonna
And
put
the
it in the
phone, and the,
chat.
oh, okay. Let me put that in the chat.
I'm putting it in the chat now. You put the phone number in there. TalkToMeFoundation.org.
Yes. One second.
Okay, I put that in the chat. You put the phone number in the chat.
Okay.
So yeah. So we're trying. My goal, my purpose, and my goal is to bring the create the awareness, because a lot of times when you run into a lot of individuals and family members, they say, "Well, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin, and I need this and I need that." So I'm trying to reach out to individuals I know who work in certain arenas, because that's not my arena. So I'm reaching out. I reached out to Coco. We had a conversation. I say, "Come on, so we can talk." And this is a conversation that needed to be had. And I hope with this conversation that it has poked you to open up dialogue in your household that needs to be had. Because a lot of times we don't want to talk about, the sex conversation was taboo for a long time. Now we have other issues we don't want to talk about, but we need to talk about, because these are changing times. Our young
Mm-hmm.
ladies, our children, they need to know. They need to know, and we can't be fearful of having certain conversations. We just cannot. It is needed. And if you don't have it with them, somebody else will. So I prefer that
Amen.
it come from a valid source than they get it from the wrong source and the wrong information. So
Hmm.
take off them fear hats, them fear shoes, and get into the conversation. We need to have these type of conversations, because this is the world in which we living in right now. We need to know. We need to educate ourselves. And educate yourself, empower you to do better. You know what I'm saying? So I always say we building and working on becoming our better best selves. In order for us as women to become our better best selves, we got to face some things. We got to deal with some things, and we have to talk about some things. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope this conversation that we've had tonight was very enlightening to you. And I'm gonna let Coco give us a little wrap up of tonight, so we can and I hope you all have this on replay. Please go back and listen to this again. Make sure you share with other women, because they need to. There are women out here who's hurting, who don't feel like they're worthy, who feel like they are throwaways, and nobody cares. And even I keep saying this over and over again. A lot of women have committed suicide because of this very conversation we having today, because the pressures of life became too much for them.
Yes, yes. And I just want to say to all my listeners who's watching us tonight, I want to say, you all, if you all want to help, you can reach out to me at talktomefoundation@gmail.com. Send me an email. You can contact me by phone number 219-939-7276. Um, and if you know someone that need a place to stay, make sure you contact me. As Sister of Support House, it holds 12 beds. And you can go on my Facebook page under Sister of Support House, and you can look at the beautiful house. It's beautiful. A lot of people tell me that it's the state of art. I just wanted to make this house as comfortable for these women as possible, because I know how I felt to be in a transitional house. I felt like I was still in prison. And for those that watching me, if you can see behind me, I have this wall of these women who we've been fighting for to bring home. And it's my mission. It's my mission. And I'm not going to stop until we bring these sisters home, because I feel like I'm not free until they are free. So until we
Mm-hmm.
get these women at home with us and they sitting at the table doing the same work that we're doing, then we know that our mission is complete. So until then, I just ask everyone to just, continue to pray for me. And I will be having a coat drive. So if anyone out there that got some used, gently used coats and shoes, I have 3 family that most definitely needs in need of help. And just contact me, and I will come pick it up. You could drop it off at my business on the west side of Chicago. Even if you all are looking to host a women empowerment event, a baby shower, birthday party, sweet 16, your fabulous 50. I have a beautiful hall on the west side of Chicago. It's called Exquisite Premiere, and I would love to have you ladies there to just support me, to support the work that I'm doing, support Black business, and stand behind us. Don't stand against us because we're doing
Right.
all that we can. And let's stop judging and let's start helping. And I just thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And these conversations is much needed, and we should do it often.
Yes, we should. I just
We
want
should
to say, ladies, make sure let's pray for one another. And
absolutely.
as Coco said, she needs some gently used coats and some children clothing. And if need be, you can send me an email at number two a woman's heart at gmail.com and let me know. I'll pick it up too, depending on where you're at. So we can make sure these families are taken care of. That's our purpose. That's our goal to help and assist others. It's not about us. So we want to be able to help. And I know we have kids that we have clothes with tags on that you want to clean out that closet. Clean out that closet. Find your gently used coats and kids' clothes. Send Coco an email at talktomefoundation@gmail.com or send me an email at number two a woman's heart at gmail.com. Let's work this together. It's not about one, it's not about you, it's about everybody. We are the village that will make the difference. Okay?
Amen.
So
Amen.
I want
Yes.
to, and we're going to make that difference. Don't take a look, but we're going to get there
We'll get
with
there.
God's help. With God's help. This is our purpose and our mission. All right. So I want to thank Coco for being so gracious to join us tonight. And I love the conversation. And I think it was very much needed, as I said before. And
Most
we need
definitely.
to do this again.
Yes, we
Uh,
should.
we do. We should do this again. All right, everybody. Make sure y'all follow us on all our social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There is a social media network for women only. It is number two a woman's heart.org. If you have a business, you want to brand, because I know some of y'all get kicked off Facebook. You can't do all that stuff because of the algorithm. Over there, you can do what you need to do to brand your business. And you can network and you can share your life precious moments. It's only for women. All right, ladies? So make sure you do that. Check out the website, number two a woman's heart.com. It was a pleasure. I thank you all for joining us tonight. And again, make sure you share this stream. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Share,
Y'all have a
share.
good one.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Share, share. Bye bye.